That's the real name and position of the 5, has been revealed by the author. In addition, you also ordered 5 elves. Mazerflame weapons test. By destroying the kingdom of Lelouchia. After hearing all of what happened at the conference, Givry through Sabo's words. Ivan is sure. Emu was one of the 20 kings who founded the Ra government, the world 800 years ago. He belongs to the Nezona family. And possessed the ability to immortality, so it can exist until now. Ivan, on the other hand, suspects that the authorities are holding in the hands of one of the 3 ancient weapons capable of destroying the world. Parallel to that. On this day. Holy Child by Gad, people who always fight for the fish people, he was executed by the Grand Master of the Holy Night. He is Saint Galangalan, king of a land called the Valley of God. Episode 1102 Modes of Gap and CUTN. The teacher and student's beliefs clash. At the Scrapyard Navy Branch G1. Edge Mill is explaining for body spray. And pages on ships that have been punched in. That's how many battles. Training tools instead of sandbags. This is the result. Vice Admiral Gap's training course from the time of the Buffalo until now. LQA was a student of his grandfather's teacher. I also trained this way. With rules. Do not use hockey or the ability to burn demons. Only punched vegetarian. The power of the 2 of them is not innate. It's all the essence of training. Return to the battlefield at Hakanosu Pirate Island. Giant class war Sanzio Ambuak has. Wake up after a deep sleep. He stood up with his big body. It makes the kids very excited. I'm glad I thought there was going to be a good game. National Education give the Sword Squad a lesson for harming this place. However, they are not afraid to jump into the air. Then he threw a huge punch in the head. Everybody has to open its mouth. The crazy scene in front of me. Gap's attack blew San Juan away. Fly out of Pirate Island 6. At the same time, he fell into the sea. The pirates. It was a shock that the country was easily defeated. It's really scary. The kids are going to pull up when they realize he was almost unconscious, but what to do? There's an AI that's strong enough to pull that giant up. They're still in shock. To the power of the naval hero. The students of Yawning were equally impressed. He is not a legendary hero. My grandfather laughed excitedly, asserting yourself that you haven't done your best. So students, be confident. Vaco Shop has decided to go to battle. And constantly making provocations. Marshal Admiral Gap. Then the Vaco Shop started pouring alcohol into its mouth. Then spray half attack. The old man in front. I took 2 pirates as a beer. They'll burn up in a second. Then he threw them around. It's like a bomb that makes the Hachino Island pirates. It was destroyed and burned. Vizara was very angry at his actions. But there's nothing we can do. Can speak alone. The Navy hero made a commotion. The whole island of Hakanosu. Many people are afraid to flee to escape. They're afraid of Black Whiskers, but see the wasteland of the town. This will kill them all. He smiles with excitement. They are not afraid of enemy numbers. Outside, the coast of RACU and other navies were on board. And announced that the injured were safe. Full Tasagi taking care of Hibari. Trying to melt the ice that Akiri created. The rest of us are gays. Kobe Gruss and Meepo Pigs are still on the island. They're trying to find a way out of this hellish place. But the enemy is as numerous as ants. One group after another crawled out. However, former Admiral Akiri is back after being hit. Strong attack of the Gap. I was determined not to let Gap and Kobe leave the territory. I can't believe the devil still wants to fight. Bai said he should be careful when dealing with his commander. For King's Master, grandfather ordered the 3 guys to run, speed out to sea, and tried 01 AI to be killed. Although the newspaper, Kobe players have harmed his teammates by being tricked into a trap. He thought there were still slaves in captivity. So turn your head. Before taking that opportunity, CEO Rain used the power of butchering approach. Fortunately, Gap was there to protect her. As a result, he was Commander 2 stabbed through the stomach. This attack was quite fatal. Gap was severely injured. He puts force into his fist and then threw the invisible guy hard on the ground. Only then did he discover that the thief was a thief. Thug used to work in Impandeo. The subordinates saw that and screamed with delight. Did not expect that. The leader can stab through a man. I am iron. He must have been weakened. Meppo and G withdrew extremely worried for the Vice Admiral. And you feel guilty? I think it was because of me that I was hurt. Tell your students that they are not hurt. Get on board immediately. From the beginning, the Invisible Man has been trying to catch it, so don't blame yourself. To be pushed forward. The black-bearded pirates. He rushed to claim credit for the captain. Hero Navy, Gap held 10 hanging rack BA crown. That's equivalent to BA billion Billy. Kuzan was silent for a long time and decided to go up against it again. Kuzan Lautu, order your subordinates to move aside. No matter what you do, you can't kill the old man. Only we can afford it. I'm talking shit and freezing the idiots. It's getting in my way. I see that the guard also broke out hockey, and then jumped in to greet the former admiral. Next to space, brandishing his icy fist at the old teacher. Smiling back to the memories of the past. When he was a young man. Then the devil asked to follow and be a teacher. He refused because he didn't want to be taken, lost their freedom. You go and find another training officer to study with. You think you need to improve. More levels. I want to be a student of Gap. Be quiet and get out. But in the end, they are each other's teachers. They regularly punch ships. In the scrapyard for training. You can't use hockey or that devil fruit. Time just goes by. Too close teachers are always bad. After the Ohara incident, Kyujin, I don't know what naval justice really is. Other side, he punched the battleship in anger. By the boy, the Ginger RA has decided become a revolutionary army years later, and Kyujin is still as close as ever. My grandfather was angry with students because his nephew is. Luffy dreams of becoming the Pirate King. Even though space has nothing to do with it. Until the Blue Pheasant became an admiral. They also refused to let go. He kept asking him to drink. Back to the present, the former admiral said that he had taught. It's a pretty complicated enemy. He replied that he was a stupid student. Right after that, they both punched each other in the face with tremendous force. That VA hit made a big explosion. On the pirate island, make the house trees fly sideways. As a result, 2 students were beaten up one by one. Because I'm old enough to say, don't you dream of leaving this pirate island. If you dare to provoke us, we have to accept the trade-off. You think you'll be safe to escape on board? Don't underestimate the power of Peaches. Hibachi is finally back to normal. Sorry to be a burden to everyone. The owl comforted her. People will definitely come back, so don't worry too much. Pick up your hand to control the Hakunosu. A giant hand created for the purpose of targeting. Navy ship of Gap. He thinks tomorrow's headlines will be. The famous Vice Admiral clenched fists. Colonel Kobe and his crew lost their lives on Pirate Island. By the power of the captain of the black-bearded 4th. Avalopazaro Shibai still disorder. Raise your hand and pray for Pisa to stop. Because there are both Navy and civilians on board. Lie still on the ground. Calm down your schoolgirl. At the same time, affirming justice. We'll definitely win.